I've been waiting for this moment, not just for days but for years. Do you really think it was a coincidence that you found this video? No. I orchestrated everything so that you would see it at this exact time. Your soul has been silently crying out, and though no one else may have heard it, I have. You are standing at the edge of making a decision that will change the course of your destiny, and that's why I couldn't stay silent. I need you to hear this, and I beg you, don't close this message, because what I'm about to share with you is exactly what you've been waiting for your entire life. You may not realize it, but there is so much happening behind the scenes in your life right now. I know sometimes it feels like the pieces don't align, that everything is confusing, or that nothing makes sense. But I want you to understand that I see both the beginning and the end at the same time. What you see are broken pieces, disconnected moments, days of darkness mixed with days of light. But I, your eternal Father, hold the full picture of your life in my hands. Every single thread, even those stained with pain, has been woven with intention and purpose. Nothing you've experienced has been wasted, and nothing has escaped my notice. I was there in every tear you cried in solitude, in every night when you felt misunderstood, and in every prayer that seemed to go unanswered. I heard your cries, I saw your struggles, and I was right there beside you. My daughter, I know that at times you feel uncertain, that fear sometimes freezes you, and that the decisions you're facing seem far too big for you to carry. But I want you to know that you are not alone in this. You are not facing this journey without help. I am with you, closer than you can imagine, more present than you can feel. While you sleep, battles are being fought in the unseen world. Angels are being dispatched, paths are being cleared, and traps are being dismantled before you even reach them. Every step you take, every move you make, is being guided by my hand, even when you can't see it. What you've called coincidence, I have orchestrated as my divine interventions. That meeting, that word spoken to you at just the right moment, that door that unexpectedly opened, every detail was set up by me, out of love for you. I know you completely. I know your thoughts before they even cross your mind, your words before they leave your lips, your deepest desires, and your greatest fears. And yet, my daughter, I love you with an everlasting love, one that never changes, never weakens, and never fades. But now, I need you to listen with all your heart. I can no longer speak in soft whispers. I have been patient with you. I have gently knocked on the door of your heart. I have placed signs, messages, people, and situations in your path. But today my voice must roar. Today, I must speak to you with clarity, because time is pressing. Not because I threaten you, but because I love you too deeply to let you remain in slumber while the enemy sows confusion around you. I must awaken you from the distractions that have kept you trapped in a cycle of purposeless routine. This is no ordinary moment. It is a sacred time, a divine intersection between where you've been and where you are about to go. Wake up, daughter. Hear my voice. You are not walking alone. You are not misunderstood, not by me. I am your Father, the one who formed you, the one who called you by name, the one who has carried you since before you were born. Even when the world doesn't understand you, I do. Even when others judge or reject you, I receive you with open arms. I have always been here, always waiting for you. Get ready, because what lies ahead demands your full attention. This is the beginning of a conversation that will change everything. Stay here. Listen. Do not ignore my voice any longer, for what I have for you is life, direction, and truth. My daughter, I still have more to say. Do not stop now. Do not close your heart to me at this moment. What you're hearing is not just any voice. It is the voice of your Father, the one who loves you beyond what you can fully comprehend, who sought you out even when you wandered, and who remained faithful to you even in your doubt. You are not here by accident, and you are not where you are by chance. Every step you've taken has been known to me, even those you deemed as irreversible mistakes. I saw them, I embraced them, and I want you to know without a doubt, I can redeem it all. Yes, daughter, all of it. I waste nothing, not your tears, not your failures, not your moments of wandering. There is nothing in your story that is wasted in my hands. I am the God who turns ashes into beauty, who transforms mourning into dancing, and who brings life to where only death seemed to exist. Even the wounds that still ache within you, I see them, I touch them, I understand them. I don't despise them, I don't overlook them. I will redeem them and I will use them. Even what the enemy intended for harm, I will turn for good. This is my promise, my power, and my glory in action for those who surrender completely to me. But you must return to me, not in a shallow way, not just with words spoken in moments of pain or when you're desperate, not just when it's convenient or easy. You must return to me with your whole heart, with true commitment, with sincerity, with a hunger for truth, a desire for communion with me, and a longing for holiness. I do not turn away those who come with a contrite heart. I do not reject those who cry out from their depths. But I want all of you. I want your whole life, not just the broken parts. I want your joyful days and your painful ones, your dreams and your fears, your successes and your failures. I want you to allow me to dwell in you, not as a visitor, but as your Lord and King. I know this world is loud, daughter. It pulls you in many directions, offering you numerous choices, paths that seem right but leave you empty. It entices you with surface-level beauty but lacks truth. But hear this, my voice is different. It is steady and strong. It hasn't changed since the beginning of creation. The same voice that said, "Let there be light," is the voice that calls your name. The same voice that guided Abraham, strengthened Moses, and comforted David is the one reaching out to you now in your most vulnerable moments. I am still speaking, even though the world has filled your ears with constant noise. I have not been silent, and I am still guiding you, even when it feels like you're surrounded by darkness. I am still healing you, even when your wounds seem old and worn. I am still working miracles, even in times when doubt has crept in with the passing of time. I am still resurrecting dead things, even those areas of your life you thought were beyond repair, the ones you gave up on, the ones you stopped praying for. I can bring life where there once was death. I can make you new again. I can restore everything that was destroyed. I'm not speaking to you about empty rituals or lifeless religion. I'm speaking of a relationship, of real intimacy, of living communion with me. I'm here. I am ready. My hand is not too short to save, nor is my ear deaf to your cries, but you must take that step toward me. Return to me, do not wait. Today is the day. This is the moment. I am here with open arms, waiting for your return. I have watched over your life with a care that surpasses all human understanding. Nothing in your journey has been missed by my eyes. When you walked with confidence, I was there beside you. When you stumbled, when you struggled to rise, I was there as well. I have seen every thought in your heart, even those unspoken words, those moments when you wondered if I was really present, if I truly cared about what you were going through, if I was truly responding. And in the midst of that confusion, I was still working in the silence you thought was deafening. My hand never stopped moving, even when you couldn't see it. You were in the process, and every single part of it had a purpose. Much of what you've gone through wasn't by chance, it was carefully orchestrated. Even the painful and unjust moments were not random. They were part of my sovereign plan. Not because I delight in your suffering, but because, in my wisdom, I use every situation to shape, transform, and strengthen you. What you thought was a loss, I am using as the very foundation for your future. What you saw as failure, I am redirecting toward a greater good. What felt like abandonment was merely space for you to learn how much you need to rely on me. I do not look for perfection in your actions, nor a life free from mistakes. What I desire is a heart that is surrendered, genuine, unmasked, a soul that pauses long enough to recognize its need for direction, healing, and purpose. Many have tried to fill the emptiness inside you with fleeting promises, temporary pleasures, and paths that lead nowhere. You have searched for answers in places that only echo back your longing. You have tried to satisfy your thirst with wells that eventually run dry. But I am the never-ending spring. My truth remains constant. My faithfulness never falters. My presence is not swayed by your emotions or by how strong or weak you feel. Your life was formed with purpose, not as a random event, but as part of an eternal plan. Even before you were conceived, I had already written your story. Every gift, every challenge, every experience you faced, everything has been under my watchful care. It's not about what you have done or what you still need to achieve. It's about who you are at your core, the parts no one else sees, the parts that I know completely. Where others may see the surface, I see the essence of who you are. Where you may see failure, I see lessons to be learned. Where there are scars, I see the marks of my grace at work in your life. I have waited patiently, not because I am weak, but because my love for you is boundless. I haven't forced you, nor pressured you, because I honor the free will I gave you. But the time has come for you to make decisions that will define the chapters ahead. This is no ordinary moment. It is time to awaken to the eternal, to set your eyes on what truly matters, and to stop chasing after things that drain your strength and never fill your soul. You can't live on fragments of truth. You need to be fully filled. You can no longer rely on human strength alone when I have offered you the power of the supernatural. You've heard many voices, some have confused you, others made you doubt, and some simply amplified your fears. But my voice does not compete, it does not shout. It is steady, it is sure. It has always been here, waiting for you to recognize it amid the noise. And now, more than ever, I need you to grasp what I am doing, even if it doesn't all seem clear. Not everything will make sense immediately, but each step you take, guided by my word, will be secure. Every decision made under my guidance will bear fruit, and every part of your life that you surrender to me will be restored. What you thought was dead can come to life again. What you gave up as finished can rise again. What was buried by sorrow can be raised by my power. There are no limits to what I can do in a life that is fully surrendered. Where others have said, "There's nothing more to be done," I say, "This is where I begin to work." Nothing is beyond my reach. No situation is too difficult for me. No heart is too hardened for my love to soften. This is a call to something deep, not superficial. It is not about emotionalism. It is eternity touching the temporary. It is my spirit awakening what had been asleep. It is my presence filling every empty space that you tried to fill with things that were never meant to bring you life. I am not offering you ideas. I am offering you true transformation. I do not offer comfort. I offer you truth. And in that truth, you will find the freedom you seek. Not everything you experience will have an immediate explanation, and not every trial was meant to break you, even though it may have felt that way in the moment. In the story I am writing with you, there are chapters you won't fully understand until you reach the next one. There will be times when it feels like the heavens are silent, but even in those moments, I am creating something deeper than a quick fix. I am building character, faith, and a reliance on me that is not dependent on your circumstances but on who I am. You have walked through shadows, encountered unanswered questions, and carried the weight of past decisions. At times you felt lost, unsure of who you are or where you're headed. But even when your vision became blurred, my eyes have always been fixed on you. I am not confused about your life. There is no doubt in me about your identity, nor any uncertainty about your future. Even when you cannot recognize yourself, I know exactly who you are. I've seen you face situations that make you question your worth. External voices have tried to define you with lies, and too often, those lies took root within you. They told you that you weren't enough, that you had failed too much, and that you had lost your purpose. But today, I want you to know those words have no power over you. They were not spoken by me. They didn't come from my heart, because in me, there is no condemnation for those who come to me with sincerity. I don't rewrite your story to erase your mistakes. I redeem them. I don't use your failures to shame you. I use them to show you that there is no stain my grace cannot cover. Many times, you felt as though you were wandering aimlessly, walking without a clear direction. But what seemed like chaos was actually part of a deliberate journey. What felt like darkness was fertile ground where I began to work in ways you couldn't see. I don't always reveal the end from the start, not to confuse you, but to teach you how to walk by faith, not by sight. When you trust in what you cannot see, you are building a relationship grounded in truth, not in fleeting emotions. That trust, though fragile at first, becomes steadfast as you allow me to guide you one step at a time. Much of what you are going through now is not punishment, but preparation. I am shaping you in secret, preparing you for a time when you will be used in the open. I am teaching you to depend on me, not only in the good times, but especially in the moments when you have no idea what to do. It is in these moments of uncertainty that my promises become more tangible. It is in that place where your strength is depleted that my power is made perfect. You do not need to demonstrate your strength for me to love you. You do not need to hide your weaknesses for me to accept you. My love for you is not conditional on your performance. It doesn't fluctuate with your emotions, nor does it fade when you stumble. My love is constant. It upholds, restores, and remains. I have been preparing doors for you that you have yet to see. These doors aren't open because of your actions, but because I have chosen to bless you far beyond what you could deserve. That is the essence of my grace, giving you more than you could ever ask for or imagine. But these doors require preparation, not because of delay, but because I need to prepare you internally to sustain what I am about to release. This process is born of love, not indifference. I do not want to give you something that will eventually lead you away from me. I want to give you what will strengthen you, draw you closer to me, and bear fruit that will endure. There are still things you don't fully understand, because you are viewing them through a limited lens, but I see from above. Not only do I see the present, but I also see the future. I am working in ways that defy your understanding. When it seems like nothing is happening, that's often when I'm working the hardest. I don't need you to see everything. What I need is for you to trust me. Trust that even when your steps feel uncertain, I am guiding you. Trust that what you've sown in tears will eventually be reaped in joy. Trust that no sincere prayer has gone unheard, that every cry has been recorded, and every moment you surrendered to me was counted as an act of faith. This is not the end. This is the ongoing process that will bring you to the fullness I've promised. Do not view your past as wasted, nor see your present as punishment. Every part of your story holds value. Every day lived under my gaze is filled with purpose. Even if others have dismissed your story, I am still writing it. Even when you wished to close the book, I turned the page and continued, because I do not give up on you. I never have, and I never will. You've often been taught that strength must be shown, that you must stay firm and never show weakness, and without realizing it, you have brought this same expectation into your relationship with me. You've tried to present yourself as perfect, hiding your inner struggles, thinking I only accept what is whole, what is at peace. But that is not what I seek. I do not need a flawless presentation. I desire what is real. Your confusion doesn't offend me, nor does your exhaustion push me away. On the contrary, it is in those moments of vulnerability where I can work most freely in you. What you are afraid to show others, you can bring to me without fear. You don't need all the answers or a perfect plan. All I need is the honesty of a heart that surrenders just as it is. Brokenness is not the end, it's the threshold. It's not the place where you are ruined, but the beginning of your restoration. The rubble in some areas of your life is not something to discard. It's the material I will use to build something new. I do not come to make superficial improvements in your life. I come to renew you from the very roots. My work is not simply about repairing what time has worn down. I completely transform what you thought was lost. I am not bound by human limitations. Where you see ruins, I see an altar. Where you believe there is nothing left, I see the beginning of something glorious. You've become accustomed to solving everything yourself, relying on your own strength, carrying the weight of your life alone. But you felt the weariness, the exhaustion of trying to hold everything up without help. Today I tell you, you don't have to do it alone. It was never intended for you to walk apart from my presence. What I planned from the beginning was a constant, intimate relationship, like a river that flows without end. I am the source, you are the vessel. You cannot fill yourself if you are not connected to the source, and this source never runs dry, never gets contaminated, and never fades with time. It remains, it flows, it renews. You once clung tightly to control, afraid that everything would fall apart if you let go. But in doing so, you felt the weight of that burden. Control without divine guidance doesn't lead to security. It breeds anxiety. That's why I'm inviting you, not just to trust, but to fully surrender. There's a big difference between believing in me and truly giving yourself to me. Many believe, but few surrender. True freedom doesn't come from merely acknowledging my existence. It comes from allowing me to be your guide, your strength, and your truth in every decision, thought, and aspect of your life. I don't want just parts of your life, I want all of it. Only when I have every piece of you can I complete the work I've begun. I know there are things you're still holding onto, wounds that have shaped your identity, words from the past that still echo like truth. But I want you to understand that none of those voices hold more authority than mine. You are not defined by what others said, nor by your mistakes, your past, or your fears. You are the work of my hands, intentionally and lovingly created. Do not let the pain of your past dictate the purpose of your present. Don't let what you experienced in darkness keep you from the light I've set before you. There is a work underway inside you that you cannot yet see, like a seed planted in the ground, seemingly dormant, yet quietly breaking through the earth. Though there's no visible evidence yet, something is taking root within you. The day will come when what is hidden will manifest in visible fruit. Do not become disheartened by a lack of immediate results. Trust the process. Not everything of value grows quickly. What is eternal requires time, formation, and deep roots. My work does not rely on your emotional state. It doesn't stop when you're filled with doubt, nor is it interrupted by your weariness. It continues because it's anchored in my faithfulness, not your strength. I hold you up when you cannot stand. I walk with you when you don't know the way. You don't need to prove anything to earn my love. You don't need to fear that I'll pull away when you feel weak. It is precisely in those moments of weakness that I draw nearer to you. Now is the time to return to what is real, not a surface-level faith, but the deep reality of a life fully led by my Spirit. It's not about having the perfect words, but about allowing my truth to reshape your thoughts. Do not seek formulas, seek my presence. Do not attempt to control what only my hand can organize. Rest, surrender, and let the eternal influence and mold you. Each day presents its own challenges, many of which have come unexpectedly. You've been caught off guard by situations you didn't anticipate, reactions you don't understand, paths that seem stable, only to collapse beneath you. Amidst all of this, you've asked, why is this happening? What's the purpose behind these unexpected changes, the doors closing that once seemed open? But I want you to understand something profoundly important. What I allow in your life is never by chance, and what I withhold is also marked with my love. What you think you lost was often my protection, and what feels like a delay is often my mercy, preventing you from moving ahead of my perfect timing. You are not forgotten, and the words I've spoken over you have not been taken back. My promises do not expire. They do not fade with time like human vows. I do not forget what I spoke over you in the moments when your faith was strong, nor do I withdraw when doubt comes in. What I declared still stands, but not everything I've promised will come to pass right away. There are things that must be cultivated within you before you can receive them, not as punishment, but as preparation. A blessing given too soon can become a burden, and I have not called you to carry weight, but to walk in my grace. That's why, at times, it may feel like I'm working in silence, but my silence is not absence. It's deep, intentional work. It's like the potter, who doesn't always speak while forming the clay but is always touching it. I have been shaping you with purpose and care. What you feel as pressure is part of the process. What causes discomfort reveals what still needs to be refined. Do not overlook these moments, do not dismiss them as meaningless trials. It is in these times that I am removing what no longer serves you, confirming what is meant to stay, and creating space for the new things I have prepared for you. There have been voices attempting to shape your destiny based on your mistakes, your setbacks, or the opinions of others about who you are or aren't. But those voices do not have the authority to dictate your story. Only I know your beginning and your end, and what I've planned for you is not determined by human judgment. You are not bound by the opinions of those who cannot see your heart. I am raising up a work in you that is not dependent on what is visible but on the eternal. Stop searching for approval in places where it will never come. Don't wait for affirmation from those who do not understand the unique design I've placed in you. Don't settle for following paths others have paved when I've prepared specific paths just for you. Lift your eyes not to yourself or your circumstances, but to me. I am the one who holds the universe, and at the same time, I care deeply for every detail of your journey. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to trust. You don't need to control everything. You just need to surrender. And in that surrender, you will discover what your soul has been longing for: peace that endures, clear guidance, and eternal purpose.